wrestling fans, when you take SmackDown Live tonight and you look at the show that they produced and gave to us tonight, it really reminds me of a great movie that when you get to the end of it, it just falls flat on its face. Or a sandwich. I don't know. If you get it at Subway, Quiznos, somewhere like that, doesn't matter where you get it. You bite into it, tastes real good. Get all the way down to the end. You finish it. What happens? You have that nasty aftertaste. SmackDown tonight, look what it gave to us. You had Andrade Cien or Andrade now, taking on Rey Mysterio. You had two brawls, Mandy Rose and Naomi, and AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. You had Asuka and Becky Lynch tearing apart the Iconics. And you had something that really just sucked at the end. It was just one of those bad tasting moments at the end of SmackDown Live. Some of you might have enjoyed it because some of you might be on the Joy Juice train of Shane McMahon and The Miz and this best in the world rivalry storyline that they're doing. But on this channel, no. And I know a lot of people are not. And wrestling fans, let me tell you, the only reason why that went on last is because it's Shane O'Mac's birthday. Yeah. The only reason. But before we do anything else, before we dive into anything else about this show, become a subscriber today. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for all notifications. Join me on my journey right here on YouTube. Plus. Go back and watch Monday Night Raw review. We talk about how the almighty Cringe became the new Intercontinental Champion last night. We talked about how Finn Balor is replacing Braun Strowman as the number one contender for the Universal Championship. All that plus so much more happened on Monday Night Raw. We discussed how that happened on Monday Night Raw review last night. So go and tune into that. Go and check out my On the Road. It's live on the channel right now. I put one of those out last night as well. Much appreciated if you go and check all that good content out live on the channel. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter at 2007Webby as well. Links to those are on the channel on right now. But SmackDown, to get back to the show. Starting off with Asuka and Becky Lynch. And Asuka and Becky Lynch tearing apart the Iconics. Asuka once again saying that Becky Lynch isn't ready for her. Becky Lynch, come the Royal Rumble, will not be in Charlotte's background anymore, will not be in Charlotte's shadow anymore. She'll be in Asuka's shadow after the Royal Rumble. She's all hype. She's all buzz. That's all Becky Lynch is. This is all coming from Asuka. Becky Lynch says, "You want to know what all the buzz is about? I'm going to rip one of the Iconics, arms off." Because the Iconics come out and they're like, "Hey, we're going to make history. We're going to be the first ever women's tag team champions. We're going to make history. We're winning the women's Royal Rumble, main event, WrestleMania, all this stuff," right? Speaking of the women's tag team championships, I'm going to dive into that in just a minute. So hold on to your seats about that. But as far as the Iconics and Becky Lynch and Asuka is concerned, pretty much what happened was Becky Lynch destroyed the Iconics and Asuka picked the bones afterwards. That's pretty much how that happened. A little back and forth, seeing who could out-up the other one. And then they had a stare down after each match. But as far as the women's tag team championships are concerned, last night on Monday Night Raw, Alexa Bliss on The Moment with Bliss announced that at the Elimination Chamber, we would see the titles decided inside the chamber match. Of course, they had to carry it on, and announce it again tonight on SmackDown. Show the titles off again tonight on SmackDown. Things of that nature. Let's be honest here, okay? Those championships, those titles, should not be decided inside the Elimination Chamber. They should not. There is nothing about those championships that should be decided inside the Elimination Chamber match. Nothing. Now, some might ask why. Y'all remember what happened the last time they stuck tag teams in the Elimination Chamber? I understand it was with the men. I know that's what some of you are going to say. And I understand it was with people like Kalisto and Sin Cara and things of that nature, but which should be an advantage, right? But do you remember what happened the last time? It was an epic flop. You had JBL and the rest of the announce team making fun of the tag team division. Now, I highly doubt you're going to see the women falling from the top of the Elimination Chamber down to the ring saying, "Catch me." But still, give me a break here. I know everybody's getting tired of seeing tag team match and tag team match after 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 tag team match with the women, because that's all WWE's been giving us. However, wrestling fans, when you look at what they could do to name the first ever tag team champions, they could just pick out the tag teams they want. 8 tag teams. 8 tag teams. And since they are pushing tag team wrestling each and every week, 4 from SmackDown and 4 from Raw. They could have done it that way, have a tournament, and by Elimination Chamber, there you go. The two teams that's left, one from Raw, one from SmackDown, they face each other to determine who's going to face or who's going to be the first ever women's tag team champions. Simple as that. But instead, WWE puts the women inside the Elimination Chamber. Once again, going to say another history-making moment because it's in the chamber and it's crowning tag team champions and so on and so forth. And let's cross our fingers, wrestling fans, that the match does not end up being an epic flop. That's all I'm saying. Because of the last time they had tag team wrestling in an Elimination Chamber matchup. Simple as that. Now, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. AJ Styles, just all of a sudden, with Becky Lynch and Asuka in the ring, he just all of a sudden just comes out, walks around, hops over the barricade, goes up, goes out into the stands, concession stand, right? Everybody's wondering why. Well, a little cheesy here, but I know Vince McMahon is in the back thinking, this is a house that AJ Styles built. He can do whatever the heck he wants. Yeah. Since how he's getting this new attitude in him. The real AJ Styles, right? So AJ Styles goes and he starts giving away merchandise, saying all these people look healthy, and asking them if they want hot dogs and soda and merchandise and things of that nature. Whole line full. The crowd's going nuts. And next thing we know, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is dressed up as one of the people in the crowd. And then they start brawling enough that they break the table of the hot dog stand where all the condiments and everything's at. You usually have the ketchup and mustard and all that. That entire table just got broken in half. Not sure if that was supposed to end right there, but it seemed like right when that table got broken in half, that it automatically just cut from that scene. So, what have you. But it was a pretty good segment. And honestly, it's one of those. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles is another one of those rivalries that, once again, to coin a phrase of Gorilla Monsoon, is a miscarriage of justice. That it's going to be pushed way down on the undercard. Royal Rumble I can understand because the Royal Rumble builds itself, the match. But on any other pay-per-view, no excuse. Absolutely none for it to be pushed down way on the undercard. Like a lot of the WWE Championship matches have been in the past. No excuse. This proves it, because this is a very heated rivalry. Quite frankly, one of the more entertaining rivalries in the WWE today. This one, Lynch, and Becky Lynch's involvement so to speak, in anything she's doing right now, quite frankly. And a few other things sprinkled around, like Seth Rollins and things of that nature. Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali. Now, this is one of those things where I am just waiting. I'm waiting to see somebody in the comments below to put Mustafa Ali is buried. To put Mustafa Ali stock has went way down now because he got brutalized by Samoa Joe. I'm waiting to hear it. I'm waiting to see it. I'm just waiting. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. If anything, WWE is once again trying with Samoa Joe again to build him up for a pay-per-view in which he's going to epically fail. Samoa Joe is nothing more than a Braun Strowman wannabe in that aspect. Unstoppable monster. And when the pay-per-view gets here, he can't get the job done. The only difference is Samoa Joe is actually believable when he does a promo. Braun Strowman's not anymore. You can believe the words that come out of Samoa Joe's mouth, but we know what the end result's going to be. So it's like, whatever. But tonight, Samoa Joe brutally dismantled Mustafa Ali from pillar to post, from one end of the ring to the next. Hit the post 2 times, threw him into the barricade, punches to the chest, headbutt, everything. It was a great sight for Samoa Joe. But Mustafa Ali is not buried. You look at everything he's done on the main roster since he's been here. No, he's not buried. Beat Daniel Bryan. Beat Andrade Cien Almas. Teamed up with AJ Styles. He's not buried. Speaking of Andrade, speaking of which, of Andrade Cien Almas being called Andrade now, a lot of people is going to say, if it works, stick with it, don't change it. That a whole saying, Look, Andrade Cien Almas has literally been buried, has literally been misused ever since being on the main roster up until the last couple of weeks, you could say. So with that being said, I don't think changing his name, even though right now it does sound a little kind of cringy, I don't think changing his name is going to do anything. It's not going to hurt it. It's not going to hurt him any more than he's already been damaged. I can tell you that much. So hopefully with this new name change and with them putting him on TV and with this win over Rey Mysterio and hopefully some more wins under his belt in the future, he will get some higher stock in the WWE and us actually get invested in him. But yeah, right now, it's just whatever. but people are complaining about his name being changed. I don't really care about that. The thing I did notice is that Rey Mysterio and Andrade put on a very good contest. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, except where I would want to see it is not on SmackDown Live. Put it on a pay-per-view. Put the thing on a pay-per-view where there's no commercials in it. That would have been great to see. Seeing it with commercial after commercial after commercial break takes some of the excitement out of the match, quite frankly. But nice win for Andrade Cien Almas or Andrade, and a pretty good story you could build from that, if you ask me. Mandy Rose versus Naomi. Speaking of stories, WWE could have done this so much better than what they did. You see, Mandy Rose tonight decided she wanted to give Jimmy Uso her key to her hotel room and have Jimmy Uso come in there and I guess do stuff with him. At least that's what the impression was all night long. Ruin Naomi's marriage. She has a date. Well, we get to the actual segment. And what does WWE do? WWE has Mandy Rose take off her robe, Jimmy Uso standing there, and he says what we would think he would say, I can't do this, we can't do this. And Mandy Rose says this. What? You think I actually want you? This isn't about you. This is about ruining Naomi's life. Naomi thinks she owns everything. Naomi thinks she's the boss, the bomb around here, and all this stuff, all this jazz. Good pop. Yeah, that's what she thinks. And then pictures are taken. And then Jimmy leaves. And Naomi shows up. And they brawl in the hotel room. And then Mandy Rose escapes. Now, I don't know about you wrestling fans, but in my perspective and in my eyes, this could have been so much better. So much. If WWE would have taken the pictures, had a few words with Jimmy Uso and Mandy, and that would have been it. We didn't hear from Naomi. We didn't see Naomi. We didn't see any or hear anything of Naomi at all tonight on SmackDown. Next week, then we see Naomi. We see everything about Naomi and Mandy Rose battling it out, brawling from the back to the end to the arena, all of that stuff. Because Mandy is really trying to mess with her man, Jimmy Uso. Something of that nature. That would have been a great story to tell. But WWE, whatever. You all let me know if you enjoyed that segment in the comments below. That's just my perspective on that. And finally, the part of the show that was actually cringeworthy. Miz and Shane McMahon and the bar. I didn't even watch it. As far as the match is concerned, once they announced the Miz and Sheamus, I started gathering my stuff together to do this review. To be quite frankly, to be blunt with you. So I do not know what happened between the Miz and Sheamus. What I do know is this rivalry between the Miz and Shane McMahon cannot get over any faster. It needs to. The storyline between these two couldn't get over any faster. It really needs to. I can't wait till it does. It is such an injustice. The fact the WWE promoted change. They showed us tag teams that we didn't see for months and actually acted like we were going to see them. And then cut that off so we can see some stupid, horrific storyline tag team match at the Royal Rumble between the best in the world tag team of Shane McMahon and The Miz taking on The Bar, which we know the Miz and Shane will win. And then, eventually, Shane will get his back beat up. He will get turned on by The Miz. And that will set up for WrestleMania. We all know that's coming. We all know that's horrific. We all know that sucks. And we all know the only reason why this was the last segment of the show is because it was Shane McMahon's birthday. So please, let's get this done and over with. And this is what I mean when I say you had what was a pretty good SmackDown that ended with one awful, epic, horrific segment that really put a nasty, awful aftertaste in all of our mouths. That's what The Miz and Shane McMahon versus The Bar is. And that's how I'm ending this. So, I'll talk to you all later. Until I see you again. Catch you on the other side.